usually we do feedback on the Chromebooks, but if you do leave form just based on what you saw, I'll pass those out to you guys. So thank you all for being here so early and being really willing to do some learning. It's true for adults too. And so in our classrooms at school, we have morning greetings to feel connected socially, emotionally, so that they're ready to learn. So right now, if you could just find someone of your people that you don't already know, if you already know each other, that if you could find someone else, if you could just introduce yourself, say how many children you have at our school, what grades they are, and then also share your favorite thing.
My name is Robin. My daughter, she's 9, she's in the first grade. It's been there since kindergarten, she's 6. Our favorite Yes, everybody just
Okay, we're gonna come back together. A little bit. I'll share just a little bit about myself. Graduated from Santa Barbara with an Asian Studies degree and moved to Asia after college, fully planning to just do international business and be fluent in Chinese. Came back to the States, worked in business, and I really missed. I was teaching in Asia. I had taught English in Asia, and so went back to school, got my teaching credential. I've been in education for 18 years now. I'm just finishing up my master's in leadership studies at the University of San Diego. All 3 of my kids went to school here. So, at college right now, my daughter's a senior at San Diego High, and all of them went to the international studies program there as well. So that's my background. I always say once you go IB, you never go back. I'm super passionate about IB, and so I'm really excited that all of you are here and ready to learn more about what IB really is. Okay, so whenever we start out a new learning engagement with our students, we always want to tap into their prior knowledge so they can start making those connections, so we can build that schema for them so that they're ready to learn. That also gives us some insight into who has a lot of prior knowledge so that we can differentiate instruction. Those kids can really stand out. This often happens when we're studying things about science, because for example, with animals, right? We'll have an expert on pandas or things like that. And those students then get to share their knowledge with other students. And for us as teachers, then we can differentiate and we can tailor the curriculum so those students are a little bit more challenged. So I want to start out with doing the same thing with all of you. This is something we often do with our students. We ask for prior knowledge. So I'm asking the question, what do you think you know about IB? But before you answer that question, I included the word think here in the question, and I want to ask all of you, why do you think I added that word there? What's the difference between asking it this way or just asking, what do you know about IB?
There's a world of possibilities, as you say, because they
it would be, you are not sure. Yeah, it's a little less intimidating, right? You don't have to have the right answer. It could be, just one word that comes to mind. It's a little less threatening. The answer doesn't have to be correct. So there are Post-its on all of your tables. Hopefully there are enough writing utensils that actually work in the black bins. And if you can go ahead and just on a Post-it, write down anything that comes to mind when you're thinking of what you already know about ID. When you're done with that, if you could bring it over here and just put your Post-it on this chart right here that says, what do you think you know about ID learning? We're getting cozy. I think I just go right. That's okay. You are more than welcome to be here. I'm so excited. Did you have me in the phone? Yes, you did. Oh, perfect. Then you're good to go. You don't need that. Wrong. I forgot to just put something in there. Your table. Okay. Like I said, once you've written down just anything that you feel like you think you know that idea, you could just put it on the chart over there at the front of your room. Sometimes we'll ask students to draw what they know, draw their understandings, because we want to address all the different learning styles of students. So I'm going to just take a look here and read some of these out. International learning, I see, learning about other cultures, diversity, diverse languages, sharing the world. Oh, you're right, some of these are more verbose, which is awesome. Whole body of the student, I love that. Set of guided character development, very true. IB diploma recognized internationally, and compassionate children, life makers. I'm really excited to see that so many of you get the overall philosophy, because I think that that's what really stands out to me about IB. Okay, so what I did in your packet, if you could open up your packets, is I created a planner for you to guide our learning today. And our planners are where we record our written curriculum for our learning. The planner looks just like this. If you could go to the page, it's two-sided, and that's the front, and that's the back. And so again, because we're an IB school, we don't have these published set curriculums, from these different publishers that we use, that we go through. We really create our own curriculum based on the standards. So we, just like any other public school, have to, follow the NGSS science standards, social study standards. We look at art and PE standards, math standards, all the Common Core standards, right? But then based on those standards, we write our own curriculum. So just take a look at both sides, and I want you to just think right now, is there anything that seems familiar to you? Any of these terms that stand out? And if you could just share out if there's anything that seems familiar from your children, from their discussions, from communication, from teachers. Lines of inquiry, okay. How we organize ourselves. Okay. So the theme, how we organize ourselves. Communication. Community.
Interconnectedness human systems. Kind of reminds me of this program reading Sapiens, by Dr. Harari involved. This is brief of humankind, but basically, human made societies as to organize principles, I guess.
Well, let's take off from there since you said that already, because what you notice, so this is our transdisciplinary theme. There are 6 different transdisciplinary themes, and those same themes are used around the world at every IB PYP school. And by the way, PYP, does anyone know what PYP stands for? That's right, primary year program. So basically, it's through 5th, okay? About that later. But this is the theme I thought fit best with our learning today. So Artie, do you mind reading the whole theme out loud for us? I know I'm putting you on the spot.
We organize ourselves and enter into the interconnectedness of human-made systems and communities, the structure and function of organizations, societal decisions making, economic activities, and their impact on humankind and the environment.
Excellent, thank you, Artie. So you'll notice that part of it is in italics and bold because that's the aspect of this theme that we'll be working on together today in our learning, because it's really about the connectedness of the IE system, our program, to the learning community, okay? And that's what we do with all of our learning with these themes, is every grade level chooses which aspect of the theme they want to focus on, and we make sure that all of the theme somewhere between kinder and 5th grade is addressed at our school, okay, for each and every thing. Central idea, can someone read the central idea out loud? You know I can call on you because you're wearing name tags. Stephanie, can you read it?
Sure. Central idea. Learning experiences can develop individuals and transform society.
Okay. And then lines of inquiry, if you guys.
It's personal learning. The inquiry to how PIP learning is relevant to an ever-changing world. The inquiry into what PYP learning looks like.
Excellent. So we're going to follow these 3 lines of inquiry in our work together this morning. And we'll go ahead and looking at the back side, we're not going to go through and read all of that, but raise your hand if you've heard of the learner profile before. Which one have the back side? Oh, the back side of the same piece of paper? Uh-oh. You know what? I'll get you, is it just you that doesn't have the back side? Oh my, okay, this is what the backside looks like. So hopefully most of you have learned about or heard about the learner profile from your children or from your children's teachers. Okay, we're gonna move on then. Again, just still that first line of inquiry, which is personal learning to a subject. So that's what I'm gonna do with all of you right now. I have some charts. There's a chart at each table. And on this is called, before you guys get up and start writing on the charts and moving around, this is called a chalk talk. Or some kind of a prompt. For the extroverts, it also behooves them because it slows them down. They have to process differently, share their thinking differently. When you get up and you start walking around the room and answering the question, what's up? Because you're leaning over and you're writing down. You don't have to wait and take turns writing on the charts. You can write sideways, you can write diagonally so that everyone on the chart can add your name to your response. You don't have to add your name to your response, so it's very non-threatening. The other thing I was going to say is if you see that someone has written something that you find really interesting, you can also respond to their comment. Oh, I'm wondering about what you're saying, or I have a connection to that because of this, okay? So we're gonna do our chalk talk. If you could stand up and maybe spread out your chart at your table and grab marker from the bins, put our markers over. There is one more, chart here, so make sure to get this chart written on as well. You're just gonna move around the room, push your chairs in, so people can get to your chart and answer those questions.
Oh my God.
I like we're staying.
I'm gonna have to
They're
really
saying that it's new, you don't know,
but I don't know how it's like.
That's the idea. So here, you're waiting for a chart, this one needs to be answered as well. So.
here's two other books, it's called the Sequence 2.0 and the 21st Lessons for the 21st Century. He's an Israeli professor.
Here anyway, I'm so used to this.
That's right. I'll tell you one thing. I did really well. Absolutely. It's shaped. Every time. It peaks.
Not knowing the system here, just put it in for the idea.
If you, I think that's powerful. Absolutely. To hear that everything comes to this, right?
You know, finding the finish, you know, so it was this good thing that we having something that go against. So that was kind of like a really,
Thank you.
yeah. I'm sorry, long story.
I wanted to understand what you wrote.
Yeah, sorry.
And once you've been able to respond to all of them, you can take a seat so I have an idea of where we're at.
Whatever you do, you better trust it.
That's too exciting.
You scared me from that.
It's 2 minutes, finished. It's finished. No. You're just right on time.
Where did we put the signage? Right. So, I need to send you the front office, but just send them on the so I know who's here for this. Okay. Thank you, right here, this one, thank you. Oh, sorry. And here's the house.
Okay, thank you.
If anyone's willing to lend a hand, I'd love to put these up on the windows. So you have more space as learners. There's one over here. Okay. This one, paper is awesome.
But everything's so complicated now.
So if any of you have to leave early, and these are the sheets that I put down, the feedback sheets, they're anonymous, we really do want critical feedback, so if you're staying to the end, we have the Google Chromebooks and we'll do the survey online, okay? Okay, so hopefully you were able to see the comments of some of the other adults in the room. Does anyone want to share anything that stood out to them, maybe surprised them, or you really connected with?
Well, I think that, when you're voice mattered, everybody put that 18 plus.
I thought that it was surprising to me, I realized there's a lot of disappointment.
Right?
This on now, hopefully you're feeling connected and reflective about your own personal learning assignments today. Most successful organizations know what they do. Most organizations know what they do, and they know how they do it, but the most successful organizations really understand the why. And use a Starbucks as an example. But when I I think about our school, I think, what do we do? Well, we educate children, right? How do we do it? Well, we're a public school, we're a charter school, every child is welcome. They're an IB educator after working at other schools. Is that I think that why is really, really solid with IB. So I'm going to share just a super brief video with you by Simon Sinek about why.
So I can tell you, it's like a compass direction. It tells you where you're going. We can live our lives by absolutely see some amazing things, some amazing experiences, but you don't really have a sense of where you're going, so it's direction. In other words, what's it all for? What the why does is it provides a path, it provides it's not just this.
Well, around their current, nothing months of learn to walk, and I met the other day, and she told me she took me to a kindergarten classroom, and the boy told my husband, I said, did you do this? Right, she said good morning to me. And there was no fear in you are different than I am. And I told my husband, holding my baby, like this is where our baby's gonna come. She's gonna be people that she's in, because usually the small.
Around the world, everyone from governments to businesses to parents, teachers, and pediatricians are all asking the same question. What skills will our need to succeed? Now, you may think you know the answer. In 2016, the World Economic Forum released a list that every parent, and quite honestly, anyone who cares about our children's future, needs. It's a list of the 21st century skills most valued in today's complex, globalized, and rapidly changing world. A third of these skills are the traditional hard skills, the reading, writing, and arithmetic that I call IQ skills. More notable, however, are the other skills, social and creative skills like creativity, curiosity, communication, collaboration, critical thinking, along with grit, leadership, and adaptability. It is these so-called soft, non-cognitive, and other skills that are gaining prominence in playrooms, classrooms, and boardrooms around the world.
So we're going to stop right there. So I found that list of skills online, and these are some of the growing skills that they had highlighted. And just take a minute to reflect on this list. Again, I wonder, what do you notice? Any surprise?
Just a lot of thinking.
List of declining skills as well. So I know one thing, number 8, emotional intelligence. That I think is really, really striking. Our students our children have to know how to interact with others. So we do a lot of collaboration in classrooms. So we're right now in that planner that I gave you, which is an inquiry into how PYP learn is relevant at second line of inquiry. You see a graphic representation of traditional teaching. So I still remember vividly teachers sitting at their desk reading the newspaper as I was reading a book. And so I messy. It's all over the teachers learning from collaboration and then that goes that group and they have to work through it just like we have to as adults in our workplaces, right? So anything else that stands out to you? This is the question. Yes, you feelings later, but oftentimes we'll say, even as adults, sometimes we work with people that maybe, we have a different opinion from, work through it. And I'm here to support you. So we do try to have those conversations with the students. I put down our agency visual from IB right there because we do try and give students a lot of voice, choice and ownership in their learning. We are beholden to the standards, but with the process, we give them choices all. I think third grade is finishing learning about the national, finish some of their learning, and they're encouraged to ask their own questions about what they're so interested in, and then they're given the opportunity to research answers to those questions, and oftentimes they're given the opportunity to, that goes back to post some trying to give choices as much as the kids sit. This year, we have outdoor classrooms, not just for gardening, but if you want your students to write poetry or do some science out there, we try and give a lot of choice and ownership in the process to really address their learning needs. So I want to show a quick video to you. This is a video that was made by the IB organization, still along that line of inquiry about why is PYP learning relevant in an ever-changing world. This video is a little longer, but I think it's worth it. So. Andrea, can you help with the reason it's not showing?
You're right. It forces you to consider your practice.
I got me thinking about the whole goal of education, that my whole role as a teacher. Was it to give information about the world, or was it to help them understand the world in which they live?
From the PYP, we're seeing true that they're thinking, they're applying their learning in the classroom.
PYP learner. They could remember the information, if they could hang on to that big conceptual idea about the world at large was going to help them to understand it.
They learn how to value the way.
I think it's just really fun interacting with people about what other people's ideas can help our, my ideas be better.
A mí me gusta este sistema que podemos aprender de una variedad de formas, muchos idiomas y con personas que son de todo el mundo.
We always reflect on what we want to do better next term and what we think we did really well.
Because there's so much reflection that the students do, they are very articulate in describing themselves and talking about themselves as learners now.
Another skill that I've seen fostered, not just in my own child, but in the children in her class, is that sense of compassion.
That culture that sits in our students, but as the PYP coordinators can certainly talk about how much it's in our teachers as well, and how much teachers work together and build their practice by sharing what they do and critiquing with each other what they do.
It is so professionally rewarding to craft units of inquiry together, to bounce ideas off each other. The teachers are really mentors of this and transdisciplinarily across the program.
Je sais que ça fait prendre conscience aussi que moi-même, j'apprends toute ma vie.
With the PYP framework, it's different from other curriculums in that it's not a curriculum, but an approach to teaching and learning that's transdisciplinary. It's not just looking at one subject and studying it For example, we've just covered a unit on plants. And I think most people would think, oh, plants, that's strictly just a science-based unit. But actually, we moved that and we connected from the science of plants to the study of deforestation and the impact on people. And that's where social studies come in. The world that we live in reality, it is
Different cultures, different lives come together.
about the PYP framework is that it allows for each school, each teacher.
For our schools to hold its own and run its own track, feeling that you like it.
There's no stopping to learning. It's a lifelong process.
Rewarding. That I felt that when I moved here from different schools and city schools. I was like, wow, I'm really being challenged myself. Where am I at on the learner profile? But and being able to collaborate all the time. Teachers have to collaborate in my school. There's no getting around it. You can't be in a silo in your room and working by yourself. We are information. I speak from my own experience and working at other schools that were in IB schools. And one thing that really stands out to me is how holistic the IB curriculum is, and also the other thing would be the character education. So arts and technology, PE, not just PE, go run laps, but like 90 minutes of PE a week, really amazing PE experiences connected to the classroom learning kind of thing. So that's the difference that I
2 years here. My son attended a public school before this, and it's completely different as far as she mentioned the PE, the art, the music, and the interactiveness in the classroom. I was a very involved parent in the last school, and I can tell you, the kids would walk in, sit down, and go over the date and do it. It was very structured, but there was no, come on guys, let's all learn together. Why are you learning this? How does this apply to your everyday life? And I see my son now, and he comes home, and the fact that he can apply what he just learned in school to what he's doing at home is just amazing. And sorry, it's just a big difference.
Thank you for sharing, because I think that's more impactful. I know for my boys, they started here. The school was very, very small, and when they were trying to recruit students, okay, and so I sent one first as a guinea pig, and then I just followed him. And he came from a Spanish immersion school to this school. Lots of German to catch up with, because he'd already learned how to speak language by the end of fourth bar with the other students. But one thing, it was just he changed as a person. For himself, doing things, speaking up. He was very much an introvert, and I just thought, here I was working here. My daughter was in kinder, and the other one was in fourth grade. So I had 3 kids here. So hopefully that answers your question. Okay, so now we're going to go into that third line of inquiry. This is our last line of inquiry. It's an inquiry into what the PYP and what PYP learning really looks like. I'm sorry about the glare here. I'm going to change that. I'll see if I can close the blinds because it's hard to see right now. But this is a picture of students working with their teacher outside in the garden. Okay, so they have their clipboards and they're doing some observations. Their teacher's there, the gardening teacher's there. I believe this is morning reading in one of our kinder classrooms. We're trying to do that even, all the way up through 5th grade. It might not look like this in 5th grade, right? 5th graders don't want to do that, but a different kind of reading. And then we have some students getting to, choose where they sit for reading time. So this is going to be more hands-on, where you're going to be doing some work here with the different parts of the PYP program. So like I said, In a PYP school, all of these subject areas are given equal weight. And when we talk about physical education, actually in an IB school, it's called PSPE because it's physical, social, and personal education because the social emotional is so important. If they're not feeling good socially, emotionally, they can't learn. And you can see the overall umbrella here that what's keeping us all together, the container is what I would call it, is that international mindedness. So that's where we're gonna go next, is really looking at international mindedness in the learner profile. So the 10 IB attributes, and you have a sheet in your packet that's just the 10 IB attributes of internationally minded learners.
You are an international minded person who strives to help create learners.
And someone else for the bottom, please, someone can see for that far right.
We got our students to be internationally minded, with passion for lifelong learning. I learned to appreciate other cultures and beliefs, and try to become a person who demonstrates the characteristics shown in the learner profile.
Thank you. Okay, so here's the learner profile. Like I said, you have that handout in your packets. And so we have the 10 IB attributes. We have caring, knowledgeable, risk taker, inquirers, thinkers, communicators, principled, open-minded, balanced, and reflective. And what I want you to do right now is reflect on where you're at with the learner profile yourself. So think of your greatest strength of these attributes. Pick one. I know you might be strong in a lot of these. And I want you to go stand next to that poster in the room. So you'll notice I have them around the room. We have balanced here. We have reflective. We have thinker over there. Inquirer. Caring, communicator, open-minded, and principled. And then we have knowledgeable. So think of your greatest strength on the learner profile. Please go stand next to that poster. So they're around here, they're here. Think of your greatest strength on the learner profile.
You're right.
I think so. Standing next to their greatest strength. If you're not there yet, if you could please get there. If someone is standing right next to you, I want to give you the opportunity to talk to them about why they think that's their greatest strength. If you're at a poster all by yourself, please stand next to someone that's at another poster and you guys can share even though your strengths might be different. Does that make sense? Okay, go ahead and oh, what are you looking for? Knowledgeable. No, right there. Right there. So, do you want to share with us if you're knowledgeable? Or you two can share. How about you two? Is that okay? She's not knowledgeable. So I And what I want to do is give you some work to do right now. I'm going to have you support them growing. I have to show post-its. There's multiple post-its. Again, think of one growth area of the IB attributes from your child, and then how you can support your child in improving in that area. So for example, one of my children I know needs to be more reflective. And I think for me with that child, me modeling when I make mistakes, when I show that I want to